let's see, there are 4 of us from advisory. I'm going to start recording and get this show on the road. Okay, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. It is Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. It is 6:39 p.m. This is a meeting of the Bolton Advisory Committee, and we will just jump right into it. We have a relatively short agenda, but a lot of little details to talk through. Okay, I will share my screen. Okay, so first up is voting on the education assessments. So we'll just jump right into it. First one is the Neshoba Regional School District. They met just last week and voted their final assessments. The final assessment to Bolton, the operating assessment came in at, you can see it here, $19,790,038. That's about a 4.2% increase from last year. We had strongly encouraged them to keep it at 3%, and that really wasn't doable from their perspective. There are some also wrapped up into the assessment are some debt items. You can see those 3 debt lines here. Those all drop a little from last year. So the final assessment to Bolton, $21,917,210, and that's a 3.7% increase. Yeah, and then any questions or comments on that? Don, go ahead.
I struggle with this, and knowing that they've got like $2 million in E&D, and they not only have no plans to use that for anything, including just operations, but also based on their October 19th meeting, they're planning on increasing it. So I'm gonna be voting no.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm not really happy with this either. I'm not sure we have a lot of options. At this point, it's been voted on by the school committee, so this is their final budget. It comes as an assessment to us. The only option at this point is if 2 of the 3-member towns disapprove it, then we go back to square one. The problem, of course, is you can't just disapprove the school district assessment. You have to disapprove the entire town budget. So that's sort of shooting ourselves in the foot. I do think this is worth addressing and bringing up to the attention of the town at annual town meeting. Bill, go ahead.
I didn't watch the last school committee meeting. Was there any pushback from the school committee on this budget? Any line items or any pushback at all, or was it just a approval?
I also did not see it. Did anyone
No.
watch it?
I watched the public hearing. And one of the school committee members did question the E&D. But it sort of, to me, sort of went in a circle and didn't go anywhere.
Right. Yeah, and I watched a meeting, I think it was October 19th. I can find out if anybody's interested. When they discussed E&D at that meeting, Ross talked about that there was an additional 200,000 plus that was coming from the state that they hadn't budgeted for, and they voted not to release that to the towns, but to keep it in their E&D, and then had a further discussion about potentially, or about decreasing the amount they release from the E&D going forward by, I think, $200,000 a year. And I understand, and I understand the pickle as a town that we're in, and I I guess this is kind of I don't know. It's, I don't expect success. I expect just to make a statement.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's worth pointing out when we had the Tri-Town meeting a couple weeks ago and the school district presented, they made a comment that they believe that this is the program the town, the people involved in the school district are asking for, that the towns are asking for, and that it is the minimum budget to be able to achieve that program.
Mhm.
Uh,
You know, and the implication there is that if that means the budgets have to be higher than we can tolerate and an override is required every few years, then so be it. And I think that's worth pointing out to the town so that their voices can be heard.
Yeah, I watched that meeting, Bob, and I heard that comment and it stuck with me. I'm not quite sure how he's making that judgment. But it was pretty clear to me that he thinks these budgets are fine. And this is a 4.18 operating assessment increase with declining enrollment. If our enrollment did not decline year over year, we'd probably be looking like Lancaster 5% plus.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my viewpoint on it is that from the school's perspective, of course, that's what they're hearing from the constituents that they are hearing from. My view of it being on the select board is that I have a larger responsibility to the community as a whole. I don't know yet where I personally am going to come out on this, but certainly I have concerns, and I heard the concerns of the residents and the taxpayers when we did the override last year. And I think it's important to make a statement that the town cannot afford these continued increases without overrides. And my sense of it is I don't think people do want the overrides. And that is a natural tension that has to be resolved by the voters. But what I'm hearing is not a cry for ongoing overrides.
Right.
I agree with you, Kate.
I think it would be interesting to just say what has been their increases through the years. And I'd be happy, I bet you a Diet Pepsi that there's never been one that's, I don't know, less than 3%, when by law we're all held to 2.5%. So I don't know why they get a pass.
I would point out that the last time I looked at the regional agreement, it does actually make specific reference to being cognizant of Proposition 2.5. And I don't think that, generally speaking, they have been cognizant.
Agreed.
So I would like to make this an explicit discussion point in the slide presentation that advisory presents at annual town meeting. And everyone here will have a chance to review those slides before they go forward. In terms of voting on this budget, this is the assessment that we've been given. I'm not real happy about it, but in the interest of putting together a town budget that closes, I will vote in favor of it. I don't know what happens if we disapprove it.
Yeah.
But folks should vote their conscience for sure. Okay. Any other discussion? Or would anyone like to make a motion to approve the Neshoba Regional School District assessment for $21,917,210?
I move we approve the budget for the Neshoba Regional School District budget for $21,917,210.
I'll second that.
All right, roll call. Craig,
Aye.
Don,
No.
Brian,
No.
and I'm an aye. Okay. don't know what happens in this case, but we'll just move on. All right, the Minuteman Regional School also provided an assessment. Their operating assessment actually went down by about 6.5%. The capital assessment went up a little bit, but the net of this is that it's a decrease of about 4.7%. So their assessment is $1,426,570. Any questions or comments on this one? Okay, is there a motion to approve the Minuteman Regional VOTEC assessment, $1,426,570?
I move we approve the Minuteman Regional Vocational Technical School budget of $1,426,570.
I second that.
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Brian? Brian?
Sorry about that. Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Excellent. Okay. That's it for the educational assessments. Now, there are a couple of items we need to clean up. And I think we need to get all this wrapped up tonight because we've got to get the advisory statement put together and get that approved next week. So I've highlighted them. Okay. One line item we have to clean up. So this is fire ponds. It's under the fire EMS budget. And the recommendation from Marie is that this gets moved into our, to be paid for out of our capital stabilization fund. And so I'll show you what that looks like in the articles, the warrant articles tab in the spreadsheet. You can see right here, there's an article number 23 for fire ponds, and this CS is capital stabilization. So it will be paid for out of capital stabilization. As a reminder, we're actually transferring about $580,000 from free cash into capital stabilization this year. It's our first year of being able to use this capital stabilization fund. So I think this is a great use of capital stabilization, and it's kind of why we implemented this whole thing. But on the actual budget line items, the effect of this is we move it out of this budget and it shows up under, other warrant articles in the top line, the top spreadsheet. So we need to revote the request for 27, FY27 gets dropped by 20,000, and the new request now for fire EMS is 793,632. Don, go ahead.
I'm not sure if this is, I know this isn't pertinent to the question at hand, but when I read that, I think we had the 75,000 local improvements was sort of for temporary fixes on the water disinfection. And then we had another 59. Was that for the same project?
No, we'll hit I think you're talking about these. We'll hit local improvements in a minute, but
Okay.
Marie, can you remind us the 59 for the wastewater treatment facility?
Sure. The 59 is comprised of two things. One of them is 49K that is basically our regular slotted replacement that Randy has broken out, that big number, the 225 over the next 4 years. He'd also planned to run some of that through our operating budget and had asked for an increase in 10K in that. So I said, all of this is wastewater. You're going to see it year after year in terms of capital. So just made it 59. Took out his increase of 10 in the operating budget and added it to the 49 of capital materials.
Okay.
That's wastewater.
Right. No, I hadn't made the connection because the local improvements, as I understand it, is the water coming out of the ground. This is the water going into the ground, if you will.
This is the stuff going in. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the fire ponds or fire EMS budget? If not, is there a motion to approve the fire department budget for $793,632?
I move we approve the fire EMS budget for $793,632.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
and I'm an I as well. Okay, excellent. So I made that 0 here. Continuing down. Okay, I think we may not have had final numbers the last time we voted on regional dispatch, so I just wanted to revote that. And again, this is an assessment that comes to us for 207,000. Any questions? Is there a motion to approve the regional dispatch budget for 207,000?
I move we approve the regional dispatch budget for $207,000.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
I'm also an I. Okay. All right, so this is local improvements. Just to refresh your memory here, so we have for the past quite a few years, this has been set at 194,000. Randy proposed an increase this year to 250, so an increase of 56K. We had some discussion back and forth about how much had been spent in the past, and we agreed, and Randy agreed as well, that we would increase by 16K in FY27, not 56K, and we approved 210,000 for local improvements. So Marie is recommending that we actually drop back down to the original request, 195,000, and provide from capital stabilization an additional 75,000 for local improvements. And I believe that the thinking behind this is that this is more of a long-term allocation of money that Randy could use to contract larger improvements like road paving that he can't cover with the year-to-year budget. Did I capture that right, Marie?
It's captured correctly. The Warren article, he'd also requested, could it be called highway improvements? So just sort of.
Instead of local,
Yeah.
sure. So that all makes sense to me. Again, this is coming out of this 580K or so that we're transferring to capital stabilization. Okay. Any other questions? So we have to revote on construction and maintenance. Then it is at now 209,100.
I move we approve the construction and maintenance budget for $209,100.
Second.
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
and I'm an I as well. Okay, snow and ice. So snow and ice this year is an absolute mess, which we can talk about in a second, but this is snow and ice for FY27. I think we talk about this every year. It's sort of pointless to have incremental increases in snow and ice when the overrun every year is hundreds of thousands of dollars. So to me, just leaving it as is and dealing with it year to year is a fine approach. This is the one of the few areas in the budget that we actually have flexibility. We can overspend and we can allocate additional money to cover that.
Do we need to vote on this?
Any thoughts? Anyone disagree? Or is there a motion to approve 180K for the snow and ice budget?
I move we approve the snow and ice budget for 180K.
Second.
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
and I'm an I as well. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is the sewer repair that Marie just mentioned that was tacked on to the request for wastewater treatment. We had approved 24. Now we will bump it back down to 14 because 10K has been moved over. Is there a motion to approve the sewer budget for 28,000?
I move we approve the sewer budget for 28,000.
Second.
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
and I'm also an aye. Okay, excellent. Okay, debt service. Oh, we didn't vote on this yet. This is just math, the way this works out. You can see all of the numbers for FY27 here. And it adds up to a total principal payment of 1,050,000 and change, and an interest payment of 73,000 and change, for a total debt service in FY27 of 1,123,873. Is there a motion to approve the debt service payment for that amount?
I move we approve the debt service payment for $1,123,873.
Second.
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
and I'm also an aye. Okay, and then there were also a few numbers down here in employee benefits that we did not have values for at the time. And Marie, these are good to go now. These are the actual numbers,
As good as they get.
as good as they get. Okay, so workers' comp is 29,589. Is there a motion to approve that?
I move we approve the workers' comp budget for $29,589.
Second.
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
and I'm also an aye. Unemployment compensation, 9,000. Is there a motion to approve that?
I move we approve the unemployment budget for $9,000.
Second.
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Brian. Brian?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Great. Okay, group health. Looks like we had a pleasant surprise. It increased only 3%. That's at 882,125. Group dental's at 24,947. And Marie, Don, go ahead.
I struggle with the OPEB, probably no surprise to those who've heard me talk about it before. I looked it up, and the expectation on the investment, the full investment, would be 7% per year, which is huge. And then there's also a portion of what they're putting in is saying going to cover the increase in medical care of between 4 and 7%. A delay on the OPEB, I think, is going to cost us a lot. There's no timeline that I'm aware of on paying that back, so I really can't support this.
So Marie, what's the recommended value that we should be putting into OPEB to fund it at 100%?
The actuarial determined contribution is 200 something, slightly under last year. I want to say 268.
Yep.
All right, so this is a little more than 50%. With this recommendation, 144,000, it's a little more than 50%.
Correct.
Yeah. And in the gist of my concern is we're borrowing long to pay operating costs. We're paying at a very high rate for this, and I don't think it's good finance.
Yeah. Is there anything else we can do to get this closer to 100%?
For me, in my experience of going through the budget and trying to look at where we can make up the 144, I'm not seeing other places.
Did we have, I thought last time, as I recall, we had over 800,000 in the E&D. Is that accurate?
In the schools?
In free cash?
And in the town?
In free cash, yes, we don't,
Free cash.
yeah. In our free cash, we would end up still with over 800K
Yeah,
should every proposal go through. So
mean-
there could be an article to backfill. You know, so keeping 144 through the raise and appropriate. And then the difference between, I'm not good at my math on call, 268 minus 144
Sure,
for free cash.
yeah,
Um, Can we just move it from free cash as part of the budget, or does it have to be a separate warrant article?
It would be a Warren article.
Huh. Um,
So additional OPEB payment from free cash.
and that would, I mean, that gets it in front of the voters, right? They can make the call. Do they want to
right,
hold on to the money now in free cash or pay it later?
right. It's borrow or save kind of question.
Um, any input from the select board on thoughts on an additional article?
I don't remember the details of when we had the presentation on OPEB. I think it was, I don't know, late last year. But I thought that we were on pretty good track, to kind of, and Marie, maybe you can help remind me a little bit about kind of the time frame, and that there were serious benefits to the town of fully funding. Do you
Right.
remember what that
We're-
timeline was?
We're on track. I could splash top in. We're on track and approximately, I want to say either 48 or 49% towards fully funded. At the point where we are fully funded, we'll be drawing down that balance to start paying part of that insurance line for our retiree insurance. So that's advantageous.
Right,
But it's a
Take it
question of
in.
it's a question of the time value of money. You know,
Yeah.
what would you want to do today?
right.
I mean, I like that we seem to have been making good progress, and I wouldn't want to see that, you know, go backwards. So I would support a new warrant article to get us back to full funding.
It seems like a reasonable approach to me, and that, you know. Okay, and Marie, with this value, 144,043, that the budget closes, right? We're at zero, we're
Budget
net
closes.
zero
We're
with that number. And any difference we could put in a warrant article, we would get to vote on that as a warrant article, the select board would get to vote, and then if it goes forward, the town votes on it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Okay, given that, is there a motion to approve the health insurance, total health insurance line for 1,051,116?
I move we approve the total health insurance budget at $1,051,116.
I'm sorry, wouldn't that be more than 1051, 116 if we fully fund it?
So we would allocate this much from the previously, the raised revenue, and then
And
the
then the difference,
difference would show up in the warrant article.
okay, that's fine. I'll second it then. Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
All right,
Brian,
Aye.
and I'm an I as well. Excellent. Okay, life insurance for 1,400. Everyone good? Is there a motion to approve that?
I move we approve the life insurance budget for $1,400.
second,
Excellent. Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
all right,
Brian,
Aye.
and I'm also an I. And Naska tells me we have to vote on the Medicare tax, even though it's just a percentage. So we'll vote 69,759. Is there a motion to approve that?
I move we approve the Medicare budget for $69,759.
second,
Roll call, Craig,
Aye.
Don,
All right,
Brian,
Aye.
and I'm also an aye. Okay. Um, okay, why do these numbers differ? Public Works, okay, hold on. Not adding up.
is Randy causing problems again here?
Oh, wait, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. That looks better. We're off by $1, but I know why. I can fix that.
Okay.
Okay. And Ninotchka has the official version of this anyway. This is just my working document. Okay, the last thing I think we should talk about a little bit. So some of the warrant articles. Okay, replenish the reserve fund. So if you'll recall, we allocated 52,000 basically for the wastewater treatment temporary solution from the reserve fund. We started with 125K. We only had one so far. We've had one additional small transfer request for $1,700. So we still have $71,000 in the reserve fund. At this point in previous years, going back 4 or 5 years, we have had significantly more transfer requests than we have this year.
Mhm.
So my sense is that we can get through the rest of the fiscal year with our remaining 71,000, and we don't need to replenish this. Anyone disagree? Any thoughts on that?
Sounds good with me.
I would say well, they're twofold. One of them is that some litigation expense is picking up and our legal budget is close to being depleted.
Yeah.
And then there's the snow and ice question.
Right. Snow and ice, we'll tackle in a second. But even I look back at some previous legal bills, and at this point in the year, we're so late in the year that even if we were to have significant legal bills, I mean, I can't imagine they would be more than 71,000. It seems like,
Yeah.
It seems like we can get there. Snow and ice is a different issue. So typically what we do for snow and ice, for everyone's awareness, is whatever turnbacks we had from the previous fiscal year, so folks that didn't completely spend their full budget, the Ninotchka kind of gathers all those up and we apply them to snow and ice, and often it's enough to cover the deficit. This year it will not cover the deficit. I think we're over 650K, Marie, or something like that.
The total, but right as of last Thursday, our deficit was 466.
Yeah. So Ninotchka had tossed out a number of potentially having to move something like 250K into the reserve fund to make up the difference between the turnbacks and that deficit. I mean, I think it's, Marie, it's whatever you and Ninotchka think we need to do to cover this.
I think the approach that Ninotchka is suggesting makes a lot of sense. As you said, we typically can cover about $220,000 of a deficit. At this point, though, it doesn't look possible to cover the existing snow and ice. if the reserve fund is replenished and we don't need it, that's fine. That's ideal. And then it will just sweep to free cash too.
Yeah, so, I mean, we don't need to vote on this tonight. We'll vote on it when we vote on the warrant articles, but, you know, I think the sense is we don't need to be repaid for the wastewater, the water treatment solution, but whatever needs to be done to cover snow and ice seems reasonable to us. Other minor changes for the committee's awareness. I think I saw that there's been a request from the school district. We had been planning to cover the Florence Sawyer and the Emerson doors.
Yes.
And I think they said instead of the Florence Sawyer doors, they would prefer to see
The switches.
the switches, the network switches covered for,
121, 400.
thank you, 121, 400. Okay, so that changed, and this is now network switches. Okay. All right. So just to give you one top level look at this, it looks like total revenue FY27 is approximately 37 million. Operating expenses are 34.9 million. And then we'll spend another 2.3 in warrant articles, some from free cash, some from our capital stabilization fund, and some from borrowing. And shortly, those two numbers will be the same, the revenue and expenditures, and we'll be at the budget closes. And so that will leave us roughly 843,000 in free cash minus the whatever we do for snow and ice. Okay. Does anyone have questions? Anything? So the next couple of steps for advisory, we have to put together the statement on the budget that goes into the warrant. I will get that knocked out this week and send it out to everyone for your review. We'll plan to have a quick meeting next week just to approve that. We need to vote on it before the warrant goes to the printer. And then at some point, we will have a meeting, and sometimes this is a joint meeting with the select board to actually vote on the warrant articles. And does that need to be done next week?
Yes,
That's a next week thing too.
it's a Thursday.
Okay. So we'll get all this sorted out and stand by for more information. Anybody have anything else? Okay,
All sounds good.
great. Thanks for joining everyone, and Craig, thanks especially for taking time out of your family function to bail us out.
No problem at all. I move we adjourn.
Excellent.
I'll
I'll second that. Okay, great. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.